y'all, it's Kiki. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be discussing products that I've already hauled and showed you guys, and some things I haven't showed you yet, but I want to come back on and let you guys know how I'm liking everything and how it's working out, little review on some of these products and all of that good stuff. So let's get started. Alright y'all, so let's talk foundations because I have a lot of foundations that I want to discuss in this video. So the first foundation that I want to talk about is by Maybelline, and this is the Maybelline Superstay. And you guys remember when I hauled this foundation? So y'all, actually just recorded a get ready with me video featuring this foundation, and so hopefully that video turns out right so I can post it for you guys. But this is the foundation that I am wearing in this video, and I absolutely love it. So as you can see, I ended up picking up two shades. I have Mocha, alright, and this is Mocha, and then I have Coconut. Alright, and here is Coconut. So on this side of my face, I'm actually wearing Mocha and Coconut mixed. And then on this side of my face, I have Coconut. So Coconut for me is a perfect match. Mocha, of course, is too dark. But like I said, I got two because I wasn't sure about the color range. So y'all, this foundation, it is absolutely freaking amazing. The hype is so real. Like, everyone who's saying that this foundation is great and they're wowed by this foundation, like, they are not lying. Like, this foundation is all that and then some. It is a must-have. If you can find it in your drugstore, I encourage you to go pick it up. It's just wonderful, y'all. This foundation will stand up to any of my higher end foundations any day, and this is my first time wearing it like today. But y'all, I love it. Like, when I was applying this foundation with a brush that I'm going to show you all, I just fell completely like in love. I had to stop the voiceover and just talk to y'all because this foundation, like, the initial application is everything. So it's a must-have, okay? For sure. You have to get this in your collection. And as you guys know, it does come with a pump, as you can see there. And this is not new to the Maybelline family. This foundation actually came out like some years ago, and then they discontinued it and they brought it back, and in my opinion, it's better than ever. So yeah, you need this in your collection for sure. So the next foundation that I want to discuss is by Sephora, and here's what it looks like. So this is the Sephora 10-Hour Wear Foundation, and I have this in the shade Deep 55, and this foundation is beautiful. I love the finish, I love the coverage, and it wears for 10 hours just like they say. It'll last you for an entire work day. So I love this foundation a lot. Again, it comes with a pump, and the finish is really pretty. It's very inexpensive, and it comes in right many shades, okay, to choose from. So I'll say if you want to kind of step above drugstore foundation, then check this one out because this one is really nice. But if I had to give you a choice between the Maybelline and the Sephora, I would say get the Maybelline for sure. But this one is good as well, and again, the color range is pretty good, so you should be able to find your shade in this Sephora foundation. So yeah, this is a must-have as well in your collection, and I love that foundation as well. Alright y'all, so the next foundation that I have, and I'm smiling because I just picked up this foundation, and I must be the last person on YouTube to own this foundation. Like, I don't know what took me so long, y'all, but this is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup, and here's what it looks like. And I'm pretty sure you all know what the Double Wear looks like, but y'all, I love this foundation so much. When they say long lasting, like, it is no joke. This stuff will last you until you wash it off your face. Like, it's amazing. It does a great job with camouflaging your pores. It does a great job with blocking the oils in your T-zone. This stuff is so good. It lays beautifully over the skin. To me, it's not full coverage, so it's like a medium to full coverage, okay, more so on the medium side, but you can build it up to full coverage, and it looks absolutely flawless on the skin. It doesn't get cakey, in my opinion anyway, because I do build this up whenever I wear it, and it's absolutely gorgeous, y'all. And the other day I actually mixed this foundation in with my Fenty, and talk about flawless. Like, y'all, my face was just flawless, and it just looks so good the entire work day. So yes, this is another must-have. Like, I feel like everybody needs to own Estee Lauder Double Wear in their collection because this stuff is so good. Now I do wish it came with a pump, but it does not. But I did hear that you can buy like a MAC foundation or a MAC pump to fit on this, so I'll probably end up doing that because I notice that I do waste a lot of product when I'm just pouring it on my hand. So I will eventually invest in a pump for this foundation. But y'all, this stuff is so good, and I'll have to come back on and do a get ready with me video featuring this foundation as well because it is beautiful. Again, this is a must-have in your collection. So that's that. And if you guys want to see like an in-depth review on any of these products that I'm showing you in this video, just let me know and I'll do that, because right now I'm just kind of running through each product, so this video won't be so long. Alright y'all, so then next up we have the e.l.f. foundation, and I'm not sure what the name is of this foundation. I don't know, but I saw Miss Diva like do a review on this foundation and it looks so beautiful on her skin. I had to go and get it. Now this foundation you can find at any drugstore, and it's only about $6, so it's really inexpensive. It also comes with a pump, and I have this foundation in the shade Cocoa. And by the way y'all, the Estee Lauder, I have this in Saddlewood. Okay, but yeah, the e.l.f. foundation I have in the shade Cocoa. It comes with a pump. This foundation is oil free and it has an SPF of 15. Now this foundation, y'all, when you first apply it to your skin, it looks really beautiful. It looks really nice and natural. It's really lightweight on the skin, so the initial application is stunning. But I will tell you, this stuff does not last for a really long time on your skin. You will find that this foundation will crease on you, and yeah, it's just not long lasting at all. So I won't wear this to work just because it creases up so bad. To me, this foundation is better for if you want to like run to the store, or you're going to go out to eat and not stay out for a very long time or something of that nature. But definitely not if you're going to be wearing it for a very long time, because it does not last on the skin. However, it looks really beautiful and really natural on the skin. So yeah, if you want a foundation that you can just throw on to run to the grocery store, or if you're going out to eat and not staying long, or if you're doing something for a really short period of time, I would say go and get this, because it is really pretty when you first put it on. And I'll say that it probably will last on the skin no more than about 2 to 3 hours, okay, tops. After that, you're going to get a bunch of creasing. But yeah, if you're looking for a really inexpensive foundation to use for a few hours, then I would recommend it. It is really pretty at first application. So yeah, that's the e.l.f. foundation. Alright y'all, so next up we have NYX Total Control Drops that looks like this. And I have these drops in the shade Cappuccino, and talk about just flawless, y'all. I absolutely love this foundation so much. Again, the hype is real. This foundation right here will last on your skin all day. It's going to give you a really beautiful natural finish. As you can see, it comes with a dropper. Alright, that looks like that. And one thing I will tell you about this foundation, in order to get like a full coverage, you do have to build it up. Like I use like so many drops of this foundation to build it up to a full coverage. However, it will not make you look cakey. Number one, because it almost seems like it's a water base. Like, can you guys tell how loose it is? Like, it's a really loose foundation, if you guys can tell. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but it's a really loose foundation, so it builds up beautifully without looking cakey on the skin. But it lasts all day long. The shade match is perfect. I had lipstick on my teeth, y'all, so just disregard that. But yeah, this foundation just looks natural on the skin. I mean, it just gives your skin a really nice radiant look. Okay, it's not matte and it's not dewy. It's like a semi-matte, so it's really natural looking on the skin. So I highly recommend this foundation. It's just beautiful, y'all. Beautiful. Like, NYX did a great job with this formulation. So if you're looking for a really nice lightweight foundation that you can build up without looking cakey, that you can wear for a long period of time, this is the one that you want to get, because it is just gorgeous. Alright, so next foundation that I have is by Iman. And here's what it looks like. And this is the Iman Luxury Concealing Foundation. And y'all, this is hands down one of my favorite drugstore foundations. Like, this stuff just looks so beautiful on the skin. I love the consistency of this foundation. It comes with a pump, as you can clearly see, and I have it in the shade Earth 2. Now, I know a lot of people think that Iman products are a little expensive to be drugstore, but the quality is there, you guys. Like, the quality is there. In my opinion, Iman can be sold in Sephora because that's just how good the quality of her products are. I have the foundation as well as I own the second to none powder, which I love. I have purchased that powder like over and over and over again. I love her lip products. Her lip glosses are just awesome, and her foundation is just beautiful. Like, this stuff sits absolutely beautiful on the skin, especially when you set it with the powder. So yeah, I just love this foundation so much. Again, this one is a staple in my collection. I highly do recommend it. It's just beautiful, just a beautiful foundation. It gives you like again, a semi-matte finish, and I just love the way it just sits on the skin. So this to me is definitely a must-have. Like, you need this foundation in your collection. And sometimes Walmart is pretty good. Well, not Walmart, but Walgreens is pretty good with putting this foundation on sale. Like, I've always caught this foundation as well as the powder and her lip products on sale at Walgreens. So you can catch it on sale quite often, but it is a must-have. Like, I love this stuff so much. It just looks so beautiful on the skin. And again, this foundation is long lasting. It'll last you all day. It's going to give you a full coverage, and it's just beautiful. Okay, and you can also use it as it suggests as a concealer. So it does good with concealing as well. And normally whenever I use this foundation, I don't have to go in with concealer like anywhere on my skin because it does a great job with covering up everything. So yeah, this is another must-have in my opinion. So again, y'all, this is the Iman Luxury Concealing Foundation. Alright, so the last foundation that I have to show you guys is this one right here by Hardcandy. Alright, and this is the Hardcandy Glamoflauge Invisible Camouflage Foundation. And y'all, this stuff right here is so full coverage. Like, this foundation is so thick in consistency. As you can see, it comes with a pump. Alright, and I have it in the shade Deep, y'all. So I am going to pump some of this foundation out so you guys can just see how thick it is. So do y'all see that? Like, it's not moving. It is super duper thick. It's almost like a moussey consistency, and I will spread it out for you guys. So there it is, spread it out on my skin. I will tell you, I do love the shade. Like, the shade match is perfect, and I do love the finish of this foundation. But y'all, this foundation is so full coverage that I can feel it sitting on my skin, and it really does feel uncomfortable on the skin just because it is so thick in consistency. However, like, the coverage, as you can see, is amazing. It's just too heavy for my skin, okay? But if you have like a whole lot of hyperpigmentation to cover up or blemishes, this stuff right here will do it. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It will cover up every single thing on your skin, and you will not need any concealer whenever you use this foundation. Now, I haven't tried to use this with a beauty blender, but I will try that because I know that the beauty blender will kind of soak up some of the product. So I will try to use this with a beauty blender, but as far as using it like with my brush, I don't really care for it because it just seems like it sits on top of my skin and it just feels really heavy on the skin. So I will try to use it with the beauty blender, and I also try to mix it in with my Fenty foundation to see if I can kind of thin it down just a little bit. So yeah, I will come back on and let you guys know how it works once I do those two things. So I am going to recommend this foundation because, again, it is a really good foundation. I love the shade, and yeah, it's pretty good. It's just that it's so thick on my skin. Like, it sits really heavy on my skin, so that's why I don't grab for it as much as I do my other foundations. So again, y'all, this is the Hardcandy Glamoflauge Invisible Camouflage Foundation. Alright, and you guys know that you can find Hardcandy at Walmart. Alright, y'all, so let's discuss primers. So I have 4 primers, no, actually 5 primers to talk about. And the first primer that I have is by Black Radiance. Alright, and this is the Black Radiance True Complexion HD Primer. It has an SPF of 15 and it is 100% oil free. Now with this primer right here, I don't know if you guys remember me hauling this primer, but I've only used this primer like maybe 3 or 4 times since I brought it. And not because I don't like it, but because I just... It's just okay. It's an okay primer. Now, as you can see, it is in a squeezy tube, and I will squeeze out a little bit for you guys to see. Okay, so here's what it looks like. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but it has like an orangey base to it. And so this primer, in my opinion, works better as a corrector. Like, can y'all see that? Like, it's really, really orangey. It works more so like a correcting primer, in my opinion, which is a good thing if you have like a lot of hyperpigmentation. So yeah, this primer works really, really good for that. However, I really don't like the way my foundation lays on this primer. That, you guys, I had to clear my memory card. But what I was saying about this primer is the fact that it does not sink into my skin. It seems like it just sits on top of my skin. So that, I think that's the reason why I don't grab for it as much, and it's really, really sticky and tacky. And that might be a good thing because it will allow the foundation or the powder to kind of cling to your skin, but I just don't like the way it feels. Like, it feels really, really sticky. It doesn't absorb into the skin, in my opinion, and it's just not one of my favorite primers at all. But again, because of the tint to it, if you have a lot of hyperpigmentation or dark spots you need to cover, this will be a great primer for that. So yeah, I will kind of leave it out on my vanity and test it out a little more, but as of now, it's just okay. The next primer that I have is by Wet n Wild, and here's what it looks like. And so this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Face Primer in the matte version. And I think that this is the one that they had in their collection previously. They just changed the packaging. And I really never wanted to try this primer until they changed the packaging because I like the way it looks. Okay, so I am wearing this primer today, and it's pretty good so far. Like, it's doing a good job with keeping me matte, and the Maybelline foundation is laying pretty good over top of this primer. As you can see, it comes in a squeeze tube, and it is like a cream consistency, as you can see there. And yeah, just so far so good with this primer. I don't have anything bad to say about it as of yet. I really love the way it feels on my skin. It absorbs into the skin really, really nicely, as you guys can see. And actually, I like it so far. I will test it out a few more times and come back and let you guys know if my opinion is the same. But it claims to be a lightweight formula, which is true. It claims to refine the appearance of pores. And I don't really know about that because I did use this primer right here on my pores. So yeah, I have to come back and test that claim. And then it also says it's supposed to smooth the skin for even makeup application. And that is true because my makeup went on really, really nice and smooth over top of this primer. So I'll say give this one a go. It's really inexpensive and I like it. So far so good. So that's that. And then the next primer is the Peter Thomas Roth. This is the Skin to Die For primer. And this one right here is a no filter mattifying primer and complexion perfector. Okay, so as I stated earlier, I did use this primer on my pores and I like it okay. Like, it's okay. Now, it's not better than my Revlon Photo Ready Pore Perfecting Primer. Let me show y'all. So I mentioned this Revlon primer in my favorites. If you guys didn't see that video, I will link it. And this is my holy grail. Like, this primer is everything. It does exactly what it says. It camouflages your pores. And whether you're wearing liquid or powder foundation, it just looks so good over top of this primer right here. So this is my holy grail. So y'all, this primer is good by Peter Thomas Roth, and this is also supposed to be a skin treatment, and it's supposed to help refine your pores over time. So that's a good thing, but I must say it's not better than the Revlon. Okay, it's not better than the Revlon. Actually in the market for a primer that will actually fill your pores in, and you don't want to break the bank, then go for the Revlon one. I'm telling you, like, this is holy grail. So this one is okay. I kind of want to see what it's going to do for my skin over time, so that's why I continue to use it. But if I had to choose between the two, definitely the Revlon for sure. However, again, this one is good, and if you're looking for like a primer to get from Sephora that will help camouflage your pores, then you can try this one. But again, y'all, this one right here, bae. Okay, so the Peter Thomas Roth Skin to Die For primer comes in a little squeezy tube, and I do like that about it, as you can see. And of course the packaging is really, really beautiful, and I'll show you what the consistency looks like. So here is the consistency, all right, of the primer. And it's really sticky. However, it absorbs into the skin really, really nicely, and it does feel like silicone base. I think it is silicone base. Alright, so of course you know it's going to fill in your pores nicely. So yeah, y'all, it's okay. I mean, if you want to try it, I would say give it a go. I am going to use all of this up because, again, I want to see what it's going to do for my pores as time progresses.